Welcome to Pammie Plus Parks. I am Pammie, your plus size fairy godmother, bringing you all the magic that Disney and Universal and Florida have to offer plus size people. And today's topic, or the topic this week, is Universal for fat people. And what I'm referring to is Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. I am poised to purchase my annual pass for those two parks coming up later this month, and I've started doing some initial research on the parks to see if they're going to be plus size friendly for me, which yeah, I think we know the answer to this, but I have uncovered a little bit of information that I want to share with you regarding the fit of the rides. And I also want to share with you what you can expect from me when I'm visiting the parks, what I think is going to happen, and kind of give you an idea of what the videos will be like for Universal Studios versus the videos that I do for Disney. Oh, and yes, I'm aware I'm wearing my Mickey ears for Universal for a Universal video, but I had to wear them because I just got the purple potion ears and I wanted to show you guys. But yeah, that's our topic this week, and I'm really excited to cover that for you. If you have joined us today at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on January 10th, then this is live. If you're watching any other day or time, this is pre-recorded, but we still have some great information to share with you that you'll be able to use right away. If you guys are watching right now, I see a lot of you are already beginning to chat. So definitely, I want to catch up with you guys and read what you're chatting about as we go along. I'm going to get myself set up right now to do that. And if you guys are doing this at a later day or time, you can still interact by going ahead and sharing your ideas, your thoughts, and everything down in the comments below. And I'll interact with you that way. So please do be a part of the show tonight, whether you're watching it now or watching it later. I also want to let you guys know that I do have Super Chat open. That's the little $ at the bottom of the live chat window. And if you want to contribute to Pammie Plus Parks so I can continue to make more great videos, that's a wonderful way to do it. If the chat gets very, very busy, it's also a great way to highlight your comment and have your comment come up at the top, so I make sure that I read your comment or question. And if you're watching any other time, or even now, if you want to contribute in a different way, there is a Plus Parks PayPal account. The link is down in the description. Especially if you're contributing from overseas, I understand that in Europe there's a different tax structure there, and you'll pay a little bit more in taxes if you use Super Chat, so you may wish to use PayPal instead. Any contributions you guys make go directly towards making more new amazing videos. And I appreciate all that you do contribute, because you're making this possible. What you contribute makes it possible for me to create more videos for you and give you more information and help you make the most of your vacation, and maybe even give you some extra boosts of confidence to carry you through your day-to-day life. Before we get into the main topic today, I'm going to go ahead and check in with you guys and see what you're chatting about right now. Let's take a look. I'll do my best to read everybody's. Lauren, you're watching from the UK. It's got to be the middle of the night there. Thank you for joining us. There's William from Pittsburgh. Hello, William. And oh, please do tell me where you're joining us from. Hi, my schnook. And then we have MGH 1208. Hello from Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Thank you for joining us. Kristen's here. Hi, Kristen. Andy, hi. How are you? Oh my gosh, Michelle is chatting with us from Canada today. Jenny says she's been looking forward to this one. I have too. I'm really looking forward to moving forward to doing the Universal Studios videos for you guys. Nicole says she loves the cool ears. Thank you. I love them too. Mark surprised them with me this weekend. Linda says, hi, Pammie from Oregon. Awesome. You're from Oregon. That's awesome. Hey, do you know the Magic Geekdom? Have you ever watched their vlog? Because they are originally from Oregon and they now live in Orlando. Mary says, good evening, my friend. Sitting here freezing in Niagara Falls. Wow, at -1 degrees and counting down, 58 days to go to your vacation in Disney. That's amazing. Susan says, hello from snowy Ohio. Love the purple ears. Thank you so much. Alicia, hello. Thank you for your compliment on my ears. Karen says, windy here in Massachusetts. And Alicia is joining from Boston. And I don't, do you guys know that I was born in Boston, Massachusetts? I didn't live there very long. I moved down here when I was very, very little, but that's where I'm from originally. Lisa is, she's chatting with us from near the Orlando International Airport. Now be careful, Lisa. Someone might ask you for a ride to Disney from the airport. Christina's here from the burbs in Philly. MGH1208 says, how do you like Dia and Company? I love them. As a matter of fact, this top and the jeans I'm wearing are from Dia. I had on a jacket too, but I put it on the floor because I started to get too hot in here with the lights. But yeah, I head to toe Dia and Company today. Actually, I did that a couple of times this week. I love the outfits a lot. Sharon is chatting from Palm Harbor. And Nicole says, greetings from San Francisco. I've always wanted to go to San Francisco. It seems like such a charming town. Josephine says, hi, chatting from Canada, heading to Disney and Universal on the 27th. Amazing. I'm hoping that you guys are ready to share any tips or tricks that you have with us during this chat later on so that people like Josephine who are getting ready to go to Universal can benefit from that as well. And Frankie is chatting from Maine. Hi, Frankie. Guys, thank you so much for joining us live tonight, and thank you if you're watching this at a later time for taking time out of your day to watch this video as well. I really, really appreciate you joining us, and I have so much fun chatting with you guys. All right, so let's dig into the topic of the week, which is Universal Studios for fat people? Let me share with you what I think, okay? I know there's a lot of people who feel like, oh, well, they didn't really take plus size people into consideration when they were building that park. They didn't take tall people or, just muscular people, people of different sizes into account when they were designing the rides. And that might be the case. But in my opinion, any place that I go to is for me. It doesn't matter where I go. Even if they didn't design it for me, even if it wasn't meant for me, it is for me. I will make it for me. Wherever I go in the world, whatever it is that I do, regardless of whether or not the surroundings around me were designed to fit someone my size, I make the most of it. I enjoy myself. I find enjoyment in everything I do, and I find a way to make it work for me and try to have fun no matter what and kind of roll with it. And I think that's something you kind of have to do in life in general, no matter what your size or your age or your mobility or your capabilities. You need to just kind of roll with it and enjoy what you can from life the way that you can and make the most of life as it is. So yeah, I mean, I can tell you Universal is not a park that is really specifically designed to fit people of all shapes, sizes, ages, and physical abilities. Think of it this way. When you look at the ads for Walt Disney World, you see ads that show grandmas and grandpas, you see aunts and uncles, you see moms and dads, you see little teeny tiny kids, you see teenagers, you see people in their 20s, their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. You see people of different sizes in their ads, different ages. That tells you something. That park is meant for everybody, and they try to do their very best to make it accessible to everyone. When you look at the ads for Universal Studios, those are skewed towards the big campaign they've had over the last few years, especially in the commercials we see down here in Florida. They talk about kids who are like tweens or in their early teens and how Universal is the park that you go to when you're grown up or you're starting to get to be grown up. It's the park that you go to when you've outgrown Disney, and that it's meant for any of the parents that you see in the commercials are like in their late 30s, maybe early to mid 40s, and nothing older than that. So they're not catering to people who are like over 45 or really over 40. They're really catering to families with those tweens, with kids who are like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They're catering to teenagers. You see a lot of teenagers, young adults, people in their early 20s in their ads. That's their target market. That's who they're designing their rides for. That's who it's meant for. And then if there's anything else there that other people can enjoy, then yay. So that is, if we're looking at it realistically, Universal Studios is designed for people of an average size or less with an average age of probably like 10 to 35 years old. That's their prime group. or they target parents who are in their 40s who have children that are in the age group, so that they will take their children, not necessarily that the adults will go on the rides, but that they're going to take their kids there to enjoy the rides. So that's their target audience. I am not their target audience. I'm 48. I'm 5'4". I weigh 350 pounds. I am not their target audience, but I'm still going to try going to their park because they have a lot of stuff there that I enjoy, especially the Harry Potter stuff, which I am going to try to do the best I can to enjoy in my own way there. Before I get into some statistics that I looked up, it is a part of my research. I want to kind of see what you guys are saying so far. Got a few more comments on here. Let's see, let's catch up. Jennifer says she's in the UK. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome. Alexis is here. Jenny H says, from the videos I watched, not fluffy friendly. So Jenny says from the videos she's watched, she believes that Universal is not plus size friendly. And she says she's going in March. Let's see. I think it's Turk J says, I can ride all of the rides at Disney. I don't fit on anything at Universal. Teresa says, so excited for the Universal videos. I'm too afraid to try any rides there that I haven't previously fit on, but still go because I love walking around the Harry Potter area. So you're making the most of your visits, even though you think you can't fit on stuff. I'm hoping to show you all the things that you can fit on and then some. Joe Gap says, purple looks nice on you. Thank you very much. Andy C says, didn't have a great experience when we went in 2016, didn't go in 2017 because why spend the money? Loved Wizarding World, even though I barely fit on Gringotts and didn't make it on the others. I'm sorry to hear that, but it sounds like you'd made the most of what you were doing. Jennifer says, I weigh 460 pounds. So yeah, for people who are extended plus sizes, or I like to call myself super fat. I mean, that's what I am. I'm fat, but I'm also bigger than the average fat person, so I'm super fat. So yeah, when you're on that larger end of the plus size spectrum, there's a lot of things that won't fit you for rides at Universal. Karen says, hi, I'm from Liverpool in the UK. We are coming to Orlando in June. Okay, great. So by the time you come in June, if you're visiting the Universal parks, hopefully I'll have shared some information with you and maybe you'll see what kind of rides you're going to be able to fit. So speaking of sizes, like I mentioned before, I am 5'4", 350 pounds. I know that there's going to be just rides that just are not going to fit me at this park, and I'm fine with that because I'm going to show you everything that I can show you. I'm still going to cover the rides that don't fit me. What I'll do for you if I find a ride doesn't fit me is I will film the queue. I will find out all the information about accessibility that I can. If they have a special waiting area for people who don't fit on the ride to wait for their family and friends, I'll show you what waiting area looks like. I'll find out any information on like ECVs, wheelchairs, other mobility devices. If there's anything with photosensitivity or strobe lighting, 3D effects, anything like that that I can share with you about the ride to help you make a decision if it will work for you, I'm going to share that with you. I know a lot of the people who watch my videos and who are members of the Pammie+Parks Facebook group are much smaller than me. They're plus size people, but much smaller than me. So please keep in mind that just because I don't fit on something doesn't mean that you won't fit on something, and you should definitely try. Many of the rides at Universal Studios have tester seats. So I'm definitely going to show you the tester seats. Here's one major difference between covering the rides at Disney and covering the rides at Universal, and it's that Universal Studios does not allow you to film on any rides or take pictures. It's because they don't allow you to have a camera out or a phone out taking pictures because they're afraid you're going to drop it, it'll land on the tracks, it'll stop the ride, so they don't allow anybody to take any pictures or any video on any of the rides. People do it. I've seen vloggers here do it. I've seen that they have videos up that they've done it, and I don't know if they received special permission or if they just snuck a camera on. But, I'm not a super famous vlogger, so they're not going to give me special permission to do anything. So I'm going to follow the rules. And if they don't allow me to film on a ride, which they don't, I will not be filming on rides. But I will try to source as many images of rides and ride seats that I possibly can. And I'll, of course, credit anybody who took those photos and make sure that I show you that if I can. And if there are tester seats, I'm going to get tons of footage of the tester seats. And then, of course, you know, if I can't get a photo, if I can't get, you know, a photo that someone else's took or an official photo from Universal Studios, and if I can't show you a tester seat, I'm going to give you very detailed descriptions of what to expect. I'm not going to just be like, yeah, I got on it, it was fine, it fit great. I'm going to tell you, like, I stepped up this many inches to step on it. The seat seemed about this wide. You know, I'll I'll give you all that information. And of course, if there any of the attractions have a special seat for plus size people or larger people, or if they have extender seat belts or anything like that. I know some of the rides or shows that are that have like seats that have motion to them. Some of those attractions have stationary seating that doesn't bounce around. If there's something like that that's available, I'll make sure I get you that information too. So you're going to get a lot of detailed, important information that's going to help you. Let's see. Christina says, to be honest, it was more plus size friendly than I expected. I fit on more rides than I expected. That's awesome, Christina. Turk J says, I'm 5'10" and weigh 360. Universal is a waste of money for me. Christina says, I did not fit on either Harry Potter ride, but I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Groot says, Universal ain't too disabled friendly. I'm aiming to find out exactly what they offer. I'm going to ask a lot of questions, because one of the things I've noticed is I've had a number of people who are members of the Pammie+Parks Facebook group reach out to me and tell me that there's not a lot of, like, certain rides don't have any way to load you on them, or they don't do anything for people who have mobility concerns. And I found that to be exactly the opposite. And it's just because they didn't ask. They didn't ask if they could get help getting on a boat, or they didn't ask if they could get on a ride, or if there was an alternate seating or anything. So I'm going to ask all those questions for you and find out just exactly how accessible the rides are. Jay Smithson says, I enjoy Universal for the atmosphere, and I don't fit at an equal number of rides at both Disney and Universal, but I still love going. Awesome. I'm glad that you still go and make the most of it. Enjoy everything that you can enjoy. Groot says, going to Disney in 5 days. Well, Disney is very plus friendly, very accessible. I think you're going to have a great time there. Jennifer says, I got told to go sit down at Alton Towers and that there was no chance of me riding anything that day. Refused a refund also. That's unfortunate. I believe Alton Towers is somewhere in the UK. Is that correct? That's not... Just to make sure no one's confused, Alton Towers is not a theme park in Florida, and I don't think it's one in the US either. Groot says, I'm kind of nervous. If you're going to Disney, I mean, it depends on what your weight, your height, body shape, that sort of thing is, but at my size, actually at the size of 395 pounds and my height 5'4", when I weighed 395, I could still get on all the rides. The only ride that wasn't open yet was Flight of Passage, and I didn't fit that one later on when I was 350 pounds, so I'm sure it wouldn't have fit me at 395 either. But I was able to ride every ride at 395 pounds at Disney, except for Flight of Passage, which wasn't open yet. So, I don't know. Don't be too nervous, Groot. Let's see. Go a little bit further here. MGH 1208 says, do you ride on roller coasters? Of course, especially at Disney. So far, I'm able to ride every single roller coaster at Disney. Groot says, any word on if they're going to modify the seats on Flight of Passage to make them more plus size friendly? Here's the thing. Every 5 years, Walt Disney World will shut down one of their major rides and refurbish it. So every 5 years, a big ride gets a full refurbishment. They go in, they paint everything. They, you know, if there's animatronics, they spruce everything up and they get everything freshened. They sometimes get new vehicles for the ride, that sort of thing. Like if it's a boat ride, they'll get brand new boats, and they just refresh a ride every 5 years. We're not quite at the 5-year mark with Flight of Passage yet. I think we have 3 more years to go before we hit that. Once it hits that 5-year mark and it goes in for its major refurbishment, and that's where they shut it down for several weeks and they redo it. So they may do that. I will let you know. I cannot tell you how I know, but I do know that Disney is incredibly aware of the situation with that ride. They want to do something about it, and I believe that something will be done about it. Whether that means they completely change all the seats, or they replace some of the seats, or they make some sort of adjustment to one of the ride rooms and make one of the ride rooms a little more friendly to people of different sizes. Keep in mind that that ride is difficult for up to 20% of the people who ride it, which means 80% of the people who try it do ride it. So your odds are really good that you will fit. But it also is very difficult for people who are very tall, very muscular, people who have mobility concerns on the lower half of their body, anybody who is of short stature, like an adult of short stature, a little person will have some difficulty in some cases riding the ride because the restraints won't lock properly. So there's a lot of people who have difficulty with this ride, not just plus size people. So I believe because of that, because it affects such a great number of people, there is a chance that they're going to do something to kind of improve that when the time comes. Okay, Jennifer Lane confirmed that Alton Towers is a UK theme park. Groot says, the one time that I was at Universal, I went on this one ride. I was in a scooter. The employee told me that if I could transfer, I would be able to go on the regular ride vehicle with everyone else. That's sometimes the case, and whenever I can find out that information for you, if you're in an ECV, if there's a different line for you, if you need to transfer, that sort of thing, if you have to transfer to a wheelchair first, I'll find all that information out for you for the rides, just like I do at Disney. Turk CJ says, it is very humiliating when you don't fit. Hang on, let's see. When you don't fit in a ride and are told that you must leave the ride. Everyone knows why you're walking out the exit. I hear you. I feel you. But I don't find that to be my personal experience. It's just like anything. To me, if I don't fit on a ride, I look at it from the standpoint of like, wow, that's a bummer. I wish I did. I look at it like you would if you went into a shoe store and you put on a pair of shoes and those shoes did fit you. I wouldn't feel bummed out and like to the point of being like humiliated because the shoes didn't fit me. Clearly, the shoes are not made to fit my feet. Those shoes are not for me. I'll go find some shoes that are for me. And that's how I feel about theme park rides. If I run into a situation where I don't fit on a ride, I'm like, darn, I wish I fit on that ride. Oh, well, I don't. Let me go find something else that I'll enjoy doing. I don't allow it to humiliate me. It's not I didn't design the ride. The ride doesn't belong to me. So maybe if I designed it and it didn't fit people, I'd be embarrassed that I didn't do a good job as a designer, but I don't allow myself to be humiliated by that. And I hope that you won't either. I mean, I understand how you feel. I get it. But I hope that you kind of see a different point of view about that. Let's see. Let's see. Rebecca says, hi guys, I'm making my weekly flyby. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Hi Rebecca, I know you're going to watch this later. I hope you enjoy it and you leave your comments. Like, you always leave really good comments. So please do that and share with us any information you have. MGH1208 says, it is embarrassing when I can't fit in a seat. Oh, my name is Margie, by the way. Thank you, Margie. I'll try to remember that. I'm terrible with names. But yeah, Margie, I understand that you can feel hurt and I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Before you walked on the ride, everyone saw what you looked like. They knew what you looked like. And if you didn't fit on the ride and you're walking away, they still are seeing the same person. I look at myself that way. I'm like, people can clearly look at me and see that I'm a fat person and I'm able to walk around and live my life and be a productive member of society and a tax-paying, law-abiding citizen who volunteers and contributes to the world around me and tries to make the world a better place. They can see that I'm a human being. I'm still that same person, even if I don't fit on a ride. And so I don't allow myself to be humiliated. And I hope I can inspire people to feel the same way. Jay Smithson said, I hope I fit on Tron. Here's the thing with Tron. Tron in China has a couple of seats. I don't know if it's on each one of the coasters or one seat on one of the coasters, but they do have some accessible seating on there, which is like a little bench seat with a different restraint that is plus size friendly. It works for people with mobility concerns. It works for people of different sizes. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about that. If they do the Tron ride exactly like they do it in China, they will have those modified seats. So we will be able to enjoy that ride. So I'm hoping that you will get to have a chance to try that one. Groot says, you're not the only YouTuber that has tried the Flight of Passage ride seat and complained. I don't mean to say that I'm complaining about it, because it is what it is. That's how they designed the ride. Oh well. Do I think they could have done a better job? Sure. But you know what? They saw the impact that they had. They saw how many people were upset by it. They saw how many people were hurt by it. And I think Disney will do something about it down the road. Oh, the test seat group was saying, the Flight of Passage test seat. I do have a complaint about the Flight of Passage test seat, because the test seat is out in the open. And they put people who have mobility concerns and plus size people and people of different sizes and different concerns that they have out in a wide open public area where everyone can stand there and watch you trying the seat. I really wish they had put it like around the corner, put a little sign out saying the test seat's around the corner, so that not everybody in the world is staring at you as you're trying to get on the ride. That, I think, is kind of embarrassing when you have hundreds of people watching you try it. I would still do it because I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to do what I have to do. But I can understand, like, when you're nervous and you're trying to check something out, you don't want people to, like, stare at you. So I get it. Groot says, I'm 5'6", 283 pounds. Here's what I have found from the last couple of years of reading people's posts and information and things that they've shared on a number of different Facebook groups and stuff. They have said that Flight of Passage works for them if they are around 5'7" or so and 320 pounds or less. If you're 283 pounds at 5'6", your chances of fitting on Flight of Passage are super, super good. And I don't think you would have any issues getting on any of the rides at Walt Disney World whatsoever, unless you have some very severe physical mobility issues. Then you might have a little bit of a struggle, or you may have to use an alternate ride or alternate seating in order to get on some of the rides. But I don't think you have much to be nervous about, Groot. Hang in there. I think you're going to have a great time. And again, I was speaking specifically about Disney and not Universal, so I want to get right back on track with Universal. William Jenkins says, just ask them. They have to tell you the truth about the ride. That's true. Jennifer Lane says, my father is 5 feet 1 inches, my mom is 6 foot 2 inches, and my brother is 6 feet 6 inches and weighs 500 pounds. He loves his fish and chips. Let's see. Hi, Candace. We're trying to talk about Universal. I keep getting off track, though. I'm sorry about that. Julie says, I had to get up and off of Star Tours. Thankfully, my grandson was not having it either, so I totally blamed it on him. Thank you, Candace. I love the ears, too. I love the purple. You're welcome, Candace. I'm happy to make these videos for you guys. I think it's awesome. I have a lot of fun doing it. Let's see. I'm going to try to get back on track with Disney. I'm going to skip over, sorry guys, some of the stuff that you are saying about some of the rides at Disney. Jay Smithson says, Pammie, be careful with rip-saw falls at Universal. Your legs will have to go on the outside of the person sitting in front of you. Not sure if that has a test seat. Ripsaw Falls does have a test seat. You can speak. But they also have an accessible ride, flume, log, where your legs won't go around the person in front of you. So I might try that. We'll have to see how that works. I've decided that when I go and I don't fit, I don't know these people, and vice versa. I'm going to go there. Sorry, Karen. I'm there to enjoy my holiday like those people are. Exactly, Karen. That's how I feel too. Maybe you'll see that person in the park later on and you'll cross paths again. But think about it. Anytime you see anybody anywhere on Earth, Maybe you'll look at someone and go, wow, look at that guy's hair, or gee whiz, that person's really tall, or woo, look at that outfit on her. Woo, that's something. And that's it. You have a fleeting thought that pops through your mind and you keep walking and living your life. That's probably what's happening if somebody's judging you or looking at you funny or whatever when you're trying to get on a ride and you don't fit. And maybe they'll chuckle because they're mean. I don't know. Maybe that's, I joke and I say the person who laughs at someone who's struggling is probably someone who kicks puppies for fun. Not that they do, but like that's the person who, they have issues, they have problems. It makes them happy to laugh at someone who's struggling. That's their deal. That's their problem, not yours. But you know, that person will have that fleeting moment, that fleeting thought, that fleeting bit of judgment, and then they're just going to move on with their lives. You may not hear them say it. They may not say anything to you. You don't know them from Adam. They don't pay your bills. What do you care what they think? Why would you care what someone thinks if you're never going to see them again and it's only in passing? It doesn't matter. Yeah, go and enjoy your vacation and set it aside, Let's see. Let's see. Julie says, especially with all the videos people make these days, they aren't all as nice as you. If I ever see myself in a video struggling, being mocked or made fun of, that would do it for rides for me. Before I started doing this making these videos, I went and I started to look for rides about fat people on rides, on roller coasters, and I found like the only ones I could find that somebody else videotaped. There was a guy who was struggling to get out of a ride, really mostly because he was tall. He was a little bit chunky, but mostly he was just very tall. It was like a log flume ride, and his legs got stuck in it. And his friend was videotaping him, and they were all laughing about it. And the guy who posted it was the guy who was in it. Another video was of like this little kid who was with his mom on one of those like slingshot rides. And that was the ride, that was the video that was taken on the ride. And frankly, the kid was like screaming so much that the video was funny. It really wasn't so much about him being fat. It was about that he was just reacting in such a funny way. And I found another video from a guy who just basically walked around Magic Kingdom one day and just complained about fat people and how fat people were. But I really couldn't find anything else. Perhaps there are people that upload these videos somewhere, but I'm not able to find them or see them, so I don't worry about it. MGH1208 says, do you prefer Universal Studios better than Disney Park? Here's the deal. I haven't been to Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure in over 20 years, so I have no idea which I prefer. I love Disney. I've always loved Disney. Disney was the first theme park that I ever went to, so, that's kind of my first love, and I'm going to check out Universal and see what it has to offer. Jay Smithson says, oh, cool, I may try it now, thanks. P.S. The ears do look fabulous with your hair. I can't talk today. Thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate that. That's sweet. Christina says, I heard there's a seatbelt extender for the Jimmy Fallon ride. I didn't know that when I rode, and it wasn't offered when I tried to ride. Had I known, I would have fit, so ask. That is one thing I understand too, that the Jimmy Fallon ride does have a seatbelt extender, and I am going to ask for one. I think that if you know there's a seatbelt extender for a ride and you're not sure whether or not you're going to need it, it's always a good idea to ask for it and then just hand it back if you don't need it. Excuse me. So I'm definitely going to, like, if I find out about stuff like that, I'm definitely going to share it with you. Teresa Clevenger says, Julie, you just gave me something new to worry about, LOL. What is it that she gave you to worry about that's new? I did not catch that. Maybe we can alleviate those fears. Josephine says, do you have the link where we can send a bit of money? I'm on my mobile, but would like to send you a little thank you. You are seriously the reason I am not worried about Disney or Universal. Awesome, Josephine. Thank you so much for the contribution. Yes, down below in the description of this video, maybe after we're done with the live chat, you can click on that link and it will take you to the pammieplusparks account on PayPal. So you can contribute on PayPal. If you want to know what that is, it's basically www.paypal.me/pammieplusparks, one word. Jay Smithson said, I used the seatbelt extender for Jimmy Fallon and they were super nice about it. That is amazing. Let's see. Leandra Rosa said, love your channel. Do you have a favorite attraction or ride at Universal? Again, Leandra, I don't know yet. There's only a couple, because it's been 20 years since I last went. The only thing I think that's still in place that I remember really enjoying back 20 years ago is the E.T. ride. And I loved that. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to riding that again and having a little bit of nostalgia. See, I went to school at UCF, University of Central Florida is where I went to college, and Universal had just opened like a year or two before I started going to school. So my friends and I, we went there a lot. And I'd go there a lot with my mom. My mom would come up and visit for a day or two, and we'd go hit Universal, we'd go hit Magic Kingdom and Epcot and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I really liked Universal a lot. I studied broadcasting in college, and I also have a minor in film. So of course, I loved it. Plus, Universal did a lot of stuff with the university for the kids who were in the TV and the film program. So we did a lot of fun stuff there. Got to go see a lot of shows taped there and stuff like that. So I did spend quite a lot of time there, but it's been so long I don't even remember it. Lauren is going to ask a question about Disney. She says, I'm 5'5", 320 with rigid AFOs that wrap around the back of my legs, and I fit on Flight of Passage just fine. That's awesome. See, there's that thing where, like, if you're about 320 pounds or under, and if you're like 5'7"-ish, 320 or less, you're going to fit on this ride. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Even with your leg bracelet. I'm guessing that you're talking about wearing leg braces or something like that. So that's awesome that you fit. Christina says the seatbelts in Transformers and Spider-Man were very generous. They were both a lot of fun. Fantastic. Magic Geekdom. You guys, I was mentioning the Magic Geekdom earlier because they're from Oregon, as well as one of the people who was chatting with us earlier. The Magic Geekdom are Kara and Jeremy, and they now live in Orlando. They are awesome. Go check out their vlog, The Magic Geekdom. And yes, I'm going to be covering Universal Studios very soon. I will be purchasing my annual pass for Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure later this month. So who knows? Maybe there could be some kind of collaboration or like meetup with the Magic Geekdom, and we can do some fun stuff there and like geek out together. Maybe at the Harry Potter stuff. I would love that. You guys have been there, I'm sure. Kara and Jeremy, you guys have probably been to Universal a bit more than I have because it's been over 20 years since I last went. So maybe you guys can be a guide for me there one day. Kathy says, just got on here. I went to Universal in Osaka. I had no problem with the rides. I didn't ride the roller coasters. Okay, that's cool. That's good to know. Very good to know. Dolphy says, the purple ears are beautiful with your hair color. Thank you so much. I had no idea what they would look like. I put them on for the very first time tonight, but yeah, they kind of match the gray hair really good. I like it. Maybe I should dye my hair purple. Let's see. Leandra says the Hulk coaster also has seatbelt extended seats on the Hulk coaster? Really? Wow. Let's see. MGH1208 says, which park in Florida is your most favorite? Which ride is your most favorite? Other than roller coasters, what attractions do you like? My favorite theme park that I've ever gone to is Magic Kingdom of all the Disney parks. My most favorite ride ever, because it has a lot of, like sentimental nostalgia stuff attached to it, of course, is Haunted Mansion. Favorite. I think my favorite roller coasters are Rock and Roller Coaster and Slinky Dog Dash are the two favorite roller coasters. That's hard. I love all the roller coasters. I mean, I also love Big Thunder Mountain too. So, but I think of the newer roller coasters that are like the smooth coasters that they have, Rock and Roller Coaster, I feel like I'm flying like a bird on that. And then Slinky Dog Dash just makes me laugh and laugh. I love it. Let's see. Leandra Rosa says the Minions ride has an extender as well. I should be taking notes. I'm gonna have to go back and like take notes on all these things, these great things that you're sharing. I really appreciate that. Leandra, if you aren't already, I hope that you will join Pammie Plus Parks on Facebook. And the link is down below in the description. So after you finish watching here, click on that and join the group, because I think you have a lot of information to share with the members over there to help them make the most of their vacation. Let's see. Oh, Christina's got a bunch of tips here for Universal. Keep in mind, the rides are kind of aggressive, okay? Like they are simulators, they are fun and exciting, but you will get thrown around a bit and they are loud. If you don't care for dark rides like that, you may not care for the park. And here's the thing, like Mark will never go to that park with me ever, because the rides are simulator rides. A lot of them are 3D rides. And because he has epilepsy, it just like getting jarred around like that when you have epilepsy, the flashing lights, the 3D effects, the simulators, none of that goes well for him. So he can't enjoy any of that park really for the most part. And he doesn't do roller coasters. So that is not a great park for him. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for your compliment about the ears. I am loving them too. Aren't they awesome? They're sort of like a belated Christmas gift. The Magic Geekdom says that would be fun to meet up at Universal. We last went in 2015, but are planning to get passes soon. Oh man, we got to do that together. We've got to do that together. And you know what? I would be like, you guys are so, Kara and Jeremy are so fun to hang out with. Like, I put my camera away the first and last time I got to see them, and just putting that camera away and having a conversation with them and talking to them was like the best. Sometimes vlogging can get in the way of talking to people and enjoying your time with them. So I make sure that when I'm in the parks and I'm meeting friends or family or I'm with Mark, I make sure that there's plenty of time where I have the camera stashed away so I can just enjoy being there. Jay Smithson says E.T., Spider-Man, Transformers, Shrek, Minions, Kong, Dr. Seuss rides are all plus size friendly. Spider-Man is my fave. I remember that I had been on Spider-Man as well. So Spider-Man and E.T. may be the only rides that are pretty much the same. That's awesome. Dolphy, thank you for your compliment about my hair. I appreciate that. That's really sweet. Let's see. Magic Geekdom says, I also saw that the Speedway is down for a few months, so we'll have to wait to test which ride is the worst at Magic Kingdom. Okay, so yeah, like Jeremy from Magic Geekdom says that he thinks the Tomorrowland Speedway is the worst ride at Disney because of the gasoline fumes from the cars there. And Kara from Magic Geekdom and I think that Astro Orbiter is the worst. And so we were talking about maybe like racing each other on the Speedway, and whoever wins the race is the one who's right. So maybe when they reopen the Speedway, we'll have to do like a race to see who's right about that. Alexis says, I'm so happy that you're doing Universal. My boys are getting older, so I want to take them, but I want to be able to participate like at Disney. I'm excited to learn from you going forward. And I'm excited to share. I'm excited to try it. I'm like nervous and I'm excited. I cannot wait. Let's see. MGH1208 says, on average, how long do you wait in line before you can get on a ride? What about heavy people? I can't stand for long periods of time. For me, I don't, because I'm an annual pass holder and I can go anytime that I want, I generally won't wait more than 30 minutes. If the wait is more than 30 minutes, I don't bother. I'll come back to it. What I like to do, what Mark and I, my husband and I like to do when we go to one of the Disney parks is we get there about like 45 minutes before the park opens. Usually anywhere from 30 to 15 minutes before the park is officially open, they start allowing people into a portion of the park. Like at Epcot, they let you in where just before the ball. Thank you, Josephine. I really appreciate that $10 contribution. Awesome. Thank you. That's like, well, that's almost lunch for me. That would pay for my breakfast on the way to one of the parks. So thank you very much, or half of the gas that I need to get back and forth to the park. So thank you. That means a lot. It really helps a lot. So yeah, like we get there right before the park opens. We get ourselves aligned with the area we want to go to. I'm usually able to get on anywhere from 3 to 6 rides. before before lunchtime, and lunchtime is usually 11 a.m. We go to lunch an hour before everybody else does, so there's no lines there because most of the eateries open at 11. By 12 o'clock, we have our first fast pass, and usually by the time 3 o'clock rolls around, Mark and I have done anywhere from 10 to 14 attractions and rides. So we don't wait in a lot of lines, and it really pretty much works any time of year doing it that way. We're not picky about what we go on. We're not picky about the fast passes that we get. We just go on whatever ride has a short line, and we end up going on a lot of rides that way. One of the things I do to rest in between is for every 2 hours I'm on my feet, whether it's walking or standing in line, I take a 15 to 20-minute break, and I find that really helps a lot. All right, so I have more information I want to share with you guys regarding Universal Studios and whether or not it works for fat people. I don't have enough information on how to get scooters there or wheelchairs and stuff like that, but I'm going to find out where you can rent them, how much they cost, that sort of thing. What I can tell you is what they have online. If you go to the Universal Studios website and you're able to access, and if I can find it again because it was really hard to find, there's a link that takes you to a brochure, a printable version of a brochure they give out in the park that has accessibility information. Within that brochure, they have a section about restraints. And here's what it says. All passenger restraint systems, including lap bars, shoulder harnesses, and seat belts, must be positioned and fastened properly to assure guest safety. Guests who do not fit properly within any safety restraint will not be permitted to ride. That makes perfect sense. I understand that. Here's the killer. Guests whose waistline is at least 40 inches, in other words, 40 inches or greater, may not be accommodated on the following rides and are strongly encouraged to try test seats provided by the entrance of the attractions to ensure their ability to ride. So here's a list of all the rides that have test seats at Universal Studios Florida that they encourage you to try. If you have a 40-inch waistline, basically that is equivalent to a size 16 in U.S. women's clothing. I believe that's an 18 in UK clothing, which would be an extra large. 40-inch waistline on a man is like an extra large-ish, anywhere from a large to an extra large. If you have a 40-inch chest, that is a size medium or large. So some of the things that are like chest restraints might not fit you. Mark has a friend who is just shy of 6 feet tall, and he's on the larger size of a medium, like a medium-sized t-shirt, but it's like a dead fit on him, a size medium. And he has like 3 or 4 rides at the park that he cannot fit because his bulk of his size is the width of his shoulders and the top of his chest. And some of those chest restraint rides do not work on him because of that. He is not fat. He is very fit. In fact, it might actually be the muscles in his shoulders and his upper arms and chest that prevent him from riding. So that's something to keep in mind. So a 40-inch waist on a man can really be or chest or whatever. That could be any man from like the smaller size of a size large up to an extra large. So that's not very big. That's not like really, 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 really overweight. That's kind of typical. I mean, the average American woman is a size 16, 18. The average American man is about a size 4. They say, I actually looked it up, and statistically, the average American male has a 38-inch waist. They say, which I don't know about that. But so yeah, that's just a tiny bit larger than average is able to fit on these rides. So let's talk about Universal Studios. The list there of rides that have tester seats are Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon, and Revenge of the Mummy. Now, the rides at Islands of Adventure that have tester seats are Doctor Doom's Fearfall, Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls, sorry, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, and the Incredible Hulk coaster. So that seems like not too bad a list. It's 4 rides at Universal Studios and 4 rides at Islands of Adventure. But the list does not end there, my friends. It goes on to say guests whose waistlines are at least 40 inches or greater may not be accommodated on the following rides. There's an additional list. Now, this is a list of rides that you might not fit on or may have difficulty fitting on, but they don't have tester seats for. Universal Studios, the list includes Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem, Men in Black, Alien Attack, The Simpsons Ride, Transformers The Ride 3D, Woody Woodpecker's Nut House Coaster. And at Islands of Adventure, the list includes The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, The Cat in the Hat, Flight of the Hippogriff, The High in the Sky Seuss Trolley Train Ride, Jurassic Park River Adventure, and Pterodon Flyers. Which I think the Pterodon Flyers you can only go on if you're a little kid. I don't think adults are allowed on that. I'm not sure though. So yeah, when you add the entire list of rides at Universal Studio, including the ones that don't have tester seats, it's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me make sure. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rides at Universal Studios and 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rides at Islands of Adventure. If you add both together between the two parks, that's 19 rides that may not work for people who have waist measurements of 40 inches or greater. However, in our discussion tonight, I'm hearing over and over again that there are larger people who have much larger waistlines than 40 inches who are able to fit on these rides. So we're going to have to check that out. I think the proof is in the pudding. Here's the thing. I know you guys, most of you are much smaller than me. Most of you are. So if I can fit on something, there's a very good chance that you're going to fit on something. But if I don't fit on something, that doesn't mean that you won't. I still think you should try stuff. Julie says, Universal's never appealed to us. 20 plus years. We always took our kids down to the Orlando area. Oops, and I just went right by your comment. Sorry about that. Will it let me go up? Let's see. We always took our kids down to the Orlando area, enjoyed SeaWorld too. Universal was just never something any of us wanted to see. Is that weird? No, it's not weird. It's just everybody has their own things that they want to try and want to do. And Universal isn't necessarily for everyone. Julie says, "We'll bump that then. We will stick with Disney. We have a few of us in our family who would not fit. My youngest son alone is 6'5", very wide at the shoulders and chest." Thank you for that info. There's, that's the other thing too. Like Universal Studios isn't very tall person friendly. If you're over 6'3" or 4, you may have some difficulties just from your height alone. Primrose Hill says, "I work at Universal, and our policy is to make you happy and comfortable. We shall accommodate your every need. So please don't afraid to visit. You'll love it." And and Primrose, I really want to show people that they need to try it. They need to go and see what's there. It's a lot of rides on that list. I'm not going to lie. That's 19 rides between 2 parks that may or may not have issues. I want to try it. I want to see if they're just being conservative with fit and if you can actually fit and if it's comfortable or not. And I want to report that to you and see how it goes. And like I said at the very beginning of this chat, I told you, is Universal Studios for fat people? It's for me. Every place I go is for me. Wherever I go is where I'm supposed to be. And I make everything that I do work for me. And I get the most enjoyment out of everything that I can. And I want you to do the same. And I want to share that with you. And I want to make sure that you guys, really have the opportunity to see a real, fully big plus size person try stuff. Somebody with a good, positive attitude. Somebody who knows how to enjoy themselves and have fun. I want to show you what you can experience at this park, because I believe it's possible to have a good time. And Primrose, thank you so much for weighing in on this and sharing what you have to say, because I really, really love the people who work in the theme parks, the cast members at Disney, and I'm super excited to meet all the amazing people that work at Universal Studios. And Primrose, what do we call you? We don't call you cast members as well, do we? I wonder if you have a name that you guys use. I'd like to use that and use the proper terminology. But thank you so much for sharing that you love us and you want us to come and you want us to try the parks out. I feel like you're going to be really wonderful to me when I go there. That the folk work there are going to be really awesome. And I can't wait to meet everyone and experience the parks and see what it has to offer. I can't wait to see the Harry Potter stuff. Even if I don't fit on the rides, I'm going to go through the lines. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to see things. I'm going to experience things. I'm going to share it with you. If there's, like I said, if there's waiting areas to sit in to wait for your family, I'll show you those. If there are seatbelt extenders, if there's alternate seating, whatever it may be to help you enjoy these rides, I definitely am going to do what I can to share that with you. Oh, Leandra says she sent me a link to the accessibility brochure for Universal Orlando. She's on my Facebook page. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I will take a look at that and add that to my research. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Siobhan says, I'm really looking forward to your Universal videos. I'm too scared to go to that park. Yeah, I definitely want to like squash that fear. I'm nervous about it too, because I'm going to be sad if I don't fit on anything. And I'll feel disappointed, not for myself so much, but for you guys, because I want you guys to see me fitting on things and enjoying things. But I think it's going to happen. I think there's so much there that's fun to look at and do and see that I think I'm going to have a lot of great stuff to share with you guys. Kathy says, I had no problem with Flight of Passage. Does anyone know if it is comparable to any of the Harry Potter rides? I don't think so. I think it's a pretty unique style of seat that you won't see at any of those parks, but who knows? I'll let you know when I go there. Let's see. William says, just ignore people that are mean. They are showing you who they are. That is true. Julie asks, will you do Halloween Horror Nights? That just seems like way too much stimulation, even though we have friends who love it and the excitement. Yes, actually the annual pass that I'm purchasing for Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure includes a ticket for one night of Halloween Horror Night. So I definitely will check that out for you. I'm going to check that out from the standpoint of not just a plus size person, but I am very curious about how they handle wheelchairs, ECVs, and other mobility devices when going through the haunted houses, if they are accessible to all people. And I'm really looking forward to reporting that for you guys and sharing that with you and letting you know if, because I just think with all the mayhem and everything that's going around and it being dark, that if you are in an ECV or a wheelchair, it might not be very easy to navigate that park, and I'm interested to find out. Let's see. Jay Smithson said, I tried Hollywood HHN Halloween Horror Nights this year. I only did one house, but I loved the Killer Clowns and Vampire Dance Party. The Vampire Dance Party looked really cool because it was like very 80s, and I kind of love that. I'm sorry, Siobhan, I did not see a troll in here. I need to like actually set something up to have some people like come in and help me take a look at this and like take them out. I don't see. Christina says, for Universal, she doesn't wait longer than 30 minutes for any ride, including Harry Potter attractions. They have much lower crowds. If you're an annual pass member, Leander says, Universal, you get early admission to the Wizarding World. It helps to get on big ticket rides before the crowd show up. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, and I see Josephine's contribution. Thank you so much. Let me see. Where? I kind of lost my thread here. Oh, Lauren asks, does your pass include Volcano Bay? I would love to know the accessibility at Volcano Bay Water Park. I did not take on Volcano Bay this time, and here's why. thanks to the generous contribution you guys made through Super Chat and through the Pammie Plus Parks PayPal account, I was able to purchase an annual pass for Walt Disney World that has no blockout dates. You know, the premium pass. It also includes the 2 water parks. So I'm going to be covering the 2 Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon already. And I'm adding on Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. I just thought like adding that additional Volcano Bay, I probably wouldn't get to the opportunity to cover that as much. So, and there's really nothing there that I can actually ride yet. We'll see in the future how things go. So, you know, I figured let's start small. Let's start with the 2 Universal parks before getting into the water park. But yeah, that's something I'd like to check out eventually as well. Turk J says they have parking garages and you have to walk all the way through City Walk to access either park. I heard that, and that's why the pass I'm going to purchase is going to include the VIP parking and the valet parking. So I'm hoping that is less of a walk. I'll share that information with you because, I have a limited amount of time that I can spend in the park because I come back home the same day and it's a 2-hour drive there, 2-hour drive back. And I usually spend 6 to 8 hours in the park. That's quite a long day. And at the end of the day, I don't want to have to spend a half an hour walking each direction to and from, an hour of my day just walking to my car. So I'm hoping that the VIP parking is going to be a better option. Magic Geekdom says, I'm interested to see your coverage of Halloween Horror Nights. We did it last year, and I don't recall seeing any wheelchairs or ECVs. I wonder how accessible it is since they use a lot of random areas of makeshift queues. I'm really concerned about that too and interested as well. I've kind of been thinking, I might actually consider renting a scooter for Halloween Horror Nights and ECV to see what it's like, to just try it for you that way. I don't have to use one. I don't 100% need to, but I want to maybe do that for you guys to see what that's like and share that with you. So that might be something that I do for that event. We'll see. Just because I'm so curious about what it's like. I think someone in here was saying that, let's see. I see the person who is saying something nasty. Yeah, I took them out. I'm so sorry. Let's see. I do need moderators on this. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to have to, I'll have to look into doing that. I actually have a few moderators in place coming up. Hopefully by the end of this month, I'll have all the moderators I need in place for the Pammie Plus Parks Facebook group, and maybe 1 or 2 of them will be able to help doing moderation of this particular of my live chats. Because yeah, it's starting to get to the point where there's so many folks chatting in here that I don't actually see all of you guys. I don't get to see all the comments because they're going by so fast. So sorry about that if you saw anything that was nasty. And it's good. You guys just ignore it. That's the best thing you can do because that's how we can get past folks that are like that. So yeah, I don't have a ton of information right now for Universal Studios, but I did want to make sure that I shared with you what I do know, that there are up to 19 rides in the 2 parks that I may have issues with, but I am going to try everything. I'm not really sure how I'm going to start in the park or where I'm going to start or, any of that. I'm just going to get in there on the first day and see what I can find out for you. The first vlog that I do from the parks will be the day that I go to purchase my annual pass. And if you guys watched Pammie's Epic Epcot Adventure, that video, it'll be very much like that. I may or may not get on rides. I kind of just want to check it out. I want to check out the walk in there, the parking. I want to check out what it's like to get your annual pass when you buy one there at the parks. I just kind of want to go in and see the stores, see what there is for like lunches and stuff like that, and what they have for food and how the park is laid out, and just kind of get a feel for it. Right now, with having, I think I'm getting close to 700 visits to Walt Disney World over the last 40 some odd years. So those parks I kind of know like the back of my hand for the most part, and this is going to be a real challenge for me. I'm going to be relearning some parks that I used to know very well, and I don't think I know at all anymore. So, it's it'll be interesting. Oh, Magic Geekdom says Halloween Horror Nights is a long, brutal night of standing. If I were to consider renting an ECV, it'd probably be for that anyway. Okay, so that's great. Thanks for letting me know. Um, Christina says, consider using Lyft or Uber to get to Universal. That's what we did, and there wasn't much of a work. And I'm sure that'll work great for folks who are staying in resorts up there. But I live in the Tampa Bay area, and I'm not going to Uber 2 hours to the parks. But I am going to get a pass that does have the valet parking. So hopefully I'll get a little closer. I don't know. Groot is asking, speaking of long walks to and from parking lots and buses, how bad is it at MGM? I haven't been in a while, so I'm not really sure. They're constantly adjusting the parking situation over there as construction continues on that park. I don't know if, Magic Kingdom waited. It's a pretty long walk to the buses and even the tram to the parking lot. So yeah, I mean, I know that the last time that I went, it was like an 8-minute walk from the parking lot to, it took me 8 minutes from like really like the front row of parking to get into the park. And then the next time that I went, I parked 3/4 of the way back, and it took me about 15 minutes to walk from my parking spot to the front of the park. I don't take the trams very often. I like to do the walk usually. So let's see. Joanna Hall says, I had an ATV at last year's Halloween Horror Night. You can't ride them into the lines, but you can transfer into wheelchair for the line, but you can't take the wheelchair into the houses. Wow, I'm looking forward to doing a little research about that, because you can't ride your ECV in the line. You have to use a wheelchair. Well, if that's the case, I'm going by myself to Halloween Horror Nights, and there's not going to be anyone to push me in a wheelchair. So that might not be an option for me. I might just have to hoof it the whole time and tell you what that's like. So that's kind of crazy. My Schnook says, I wanted to let you know that I have a smile on my face during and after the live chat. Thank you so much for all that you do for us. Thank you, my Schnook. I'm happy to be here and to talk to you guys. I love chatting with you. How do you get an ATV into the park? I think what they're talking about is an ECV, not an ATV. An all-terrain vehicle is not something that is generally allowed in parks. Gertrude says, I don't understand why you'd want to put yourself in a situation where everyone can participate or ride something except you. I think you look silly spending money to watch healthy people have fun. Well, I think you look silly joining in on the chat of a group of people that you don't respect. So you are going bye-bye. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, we're starting to get lots of people being all kinds of nasty. And here's the thing, if somebody's being nasty or something, we don't need to respond to them. We can just delete them, so we don't have to deal with that. I don't understand why I always think it's funny when people come into a group and they say something nasty in here, and it's like, don't you have anything, like, don't you have any, like, real hobbies or interests and things that, like, don't you have any way to contribute to society and be a decent human being? Like, this is what you have to do with your time? That's rather sad. Joanna Hall said, I rented a scooter for the week from an outside company. Yes, there's tons of great companies in the area that a lot of them are able to deliver right to the park. Turk says, Universal's parking garages are huge. If you end up on the far side, it is a long walk through the hub and city walk to the parks. Yes, I imagine that's going to be quite horrible. And if someone has left some advice about trying to walk every day leading up to vacation, just start 15 minutes a day, and it will help you tremendously. And I agree with that. I absolutely agree. I really find that it's like you're never more than like 15, 20 minutes walk from anything. So if you can do a 15 or 20-minute walk, you're going to do great throughout any of the Walt Disney World parks. I also recommend standing. Try standing. Like fold laundry while you're standing, read your mail while you're standing, do your email while you're standing. Stand a lot when you're at home. Try to stand at work at your desk and do as much standing as possible because that will help condition you for standing in lines. I think that's important. And that's for anybody of any size. So, Josephine, when you see somebody like come in the group and they say something nasty, just ignore them and we'll get them kicked out. No problem. Um, Thank you for joining us, MGH 1208. I'm actually going to wrap up because we've been chatting for over an hour. So we got to get going because I know you guys have a lot to get back to, your own families and things that that you want to do. Leandra Rosa says, you will do more walking in Disney than Universal, hands down. It's a fraction of the size, and City Walk is so close to the parks. That's awesome. That's good to know. Turk says, I'm very interested in seeing how you do. I'm hoping you can change my mind about Universal. I hope so too. I hope that, I'm able to find some cool things out for you and show you some things that you can enjoy. Groot says they say 6 to 9 miles a day. Yeah, that's not bad. 6 to 9 miles is, I walk 7 to 10 every day, so that's probably why I do the park so well. Joanna, I love having you here. Thank you for showing up. I'm glad you love the videos. Royal says, I'm glad you got together with Curve. I'll watch you on playback. I never got to tell you about that. That's one of the things I did over the past week. I'm going to share that in another upcoming video. You guys will see. Jessica says, I did both parks 2 years ago, Universal, both parks 2 years ago. I loved and hated it at the same time. I was able to ride the Hulk and 2 of the 4 Harry Potter rides. Awesome, but most things that looked so fun I didn't fit on. Sorry about that. Leander says, you're the best, Pammie. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Caleb says, oh, I'll have to catch you next stream. Good night. Caleb, watch it when I'll post this in a few minutes and you can watch it from the beginning at your leisure. That would be awesome. Leander says, I'm a size 12 to 14, but still enjoy sharing this info with my bodacious babe friends. Hey, I try to offer you guys information that's going to work for lots of people of lots of different sizes. I know that a lot of times you're the planner of the group and you may have someone who's plus size or who has accessibility concerns in your group, and maybe the info will help them. Jay Smithson, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Lauren says, thank you so much for all the work you put in your videos, Lauren. It is a lot of work, but knowing that I can have some sort of impact on people's vacation and help them make memories with their family and friends that are going to last them a lifetime, that is like amazing. That is a privilege. And I'm so excited that you allow me into your homes, into your lives, on your phone, that you allow me to share the things I know and that it helps you. That is amazing to me. I love that. Bye, Magic Geekdom. I don't know if that was Jeremy or Kara, but bye, guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon. And have a great night, everyone. William, stay warm too. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. And guys, remember what I always like to say. Keep this in mind. Life is a roller coaster. Enjoy the ride.